The 12 Steps, a framework for personal change. Introduction, a universal framework for change. Many versions of the 12 Steps exist, yet they all share a common and underlying structure for achieving personal change. Their timeless principles bridge cultural, social, and personal differences. They offer a universally relevant framework for anyone seeking healing or a deeper sense of purpose. The 12 Steps represent a dynamic and adaptable pathway for personal improvement. Their value is not found in a static checklist of tasks to complete, but in the process of actively working them. Rather than a destination, they provide a guide for a lifelong journey. This process begins with a series of foundational steps. These initial actions establish the groundwork for the entire transformative journey ahead. The foundation: admittance, hope, and decision. Steps 1 through 3. The first 3 steps collectively establish the psychological foundation for change. They guide an individual from an initial recognition of a problem to a conscious acceptance of outside help. This sequence creates the necessary mindset for the difficult work that follows by moving beyond the limitations of the self. Step 1 is an admission of being powerless, stuck, addicted, or craving. It is an acknowledgement that life can be better and a desire for that change to occur. This step represents a crucial turning point, marking a clear departure from an old way of life toward a new one. Step 2 involves recognizing the need for help from resources beyond one's own current capacity. This requires looking for assistance from what is called a higher power. A higher power is defined as any source of help that is more effective than oneself, and does not need to be a deity or supernatural influence. Step 3 marks a conscious decision to accept this outside help and rely less on ego. It is an act of cooperation and alignment with something smarter, greater, wiser, and more powerful than oneself. This choice is a voluntary partnership, not a loss of free will or personal identity, and it leads directly to the process of honest self-investigation. The investigation, inventory, and acknowledgement, steps 4 to 5. After establishing this foundation, the heroic journey turns inward. Like a hero entering a cave to confront a hidden truth, these next steps involve a fearless self-investigation. They are designed to create a clear understanding of past beliefs, desires, and decisions. Step 4 is the creation of a personal inventory, a process that puts the maxim "know thyself" into direct action. This investigation can be difficult, as there is a risk of being ensnared by guilt or mesmerized by thoughts of what might have been. Following guidelines or working with a mentor is essential, but the result can be a freedom like you have never known. Step 5 makes the personal inventory real through the act of sharing and acknowledgement. To confess is to accept, and to share is to make real. This is achieved by sharing the findings of the inventory with another person and a higher power. The act of confession provides an unburdening and enlightening experience, and the insight gained prepares an individual for the transformation ahead. The bridge, preparing for and allowing transformation. Steps 6 to 7. These 2 steps form the central bridge of the entire process, connecting the insight gained from self-investigation with the action required for genuine change. They link the identification of problems with the implementation of solutions. The focus is on developing internal readiness and engaging the actual mechanism of transformation. Step 6 signals a genuine readiness to change, built on the understanding that insight alone is not enough to alter learned behaviors. Many problematic habits serve a protective purpose and can feel integral to one's identity. This step is a conscious decision to give up the very thoughts and behaviors that hold a person back. Step 7 allows the change to occur naturally, not as a violent imposition upon the self. Transformation happens through the assistance of a higher power, rather than through forceful willpower. This process requires commitment and effort to engage, unfolding like a flower from within, and preparing the way for the external work of repairing past harms. The reconciliation, amends and restitution, steps 8 to 9. After preparing for internal change, the focus shifts to addressing the consequences of past actions. These steps are designed to clean up the past, an essential task for future peace. Whether it is a matter of karma or a psychological mechanism, an individual will not know true peace until this work is completed to the best of their ability. Step 8 is the creation of a comprehensive list of all harm caused to others. The list should include family, friends, institutions, oneself, and even pets and other creatures. This is not an exercise in wallowing in guilt, but an opportunity to be free of the dark baggage one has been carrying through life. Step 9 is the active process of making direct amends or restitution where possible. A person must work this step diligently to find true peace and move forward. There is one critical rule that must be followed without exception. Amends should not be made, if doing so would cause more harm to others. This work, once completed, transitions into an ongoing practice of maintenance. The practice, a new design for living. Steps 10 to 12. The final 3 steps transform the recovery process into a sustainable, lifelong practice. They integrate the principles of self-monitoring, spiritual growth, and service into a new design for living. This ensures continued progress and integrates the lessons of the journey into daily life. Step 10 is the continuation of the self-inventory process on an ongoing basis. It allows for the constant monitoring of personal progress and helps a person notice when they get off track. This step includes the prompt admission and correction of any new mistakes. Step 11 is focused on continued spiritual and psychological growth. This step defines the day-to-day relationship with a higher power. The terms prayer and meditation are simply placeholders for any chosen method of communion. Step 12 is the principle of giving back and helping others. By working to make the world a better place, a person paradoxically improves their own life. This service is a key part of maintaining personal growth and completing the cycle of transformation. The 12 steps provide an infrastructure for personal development. Like wellness paths in a park, the steps provide direction, and at each step, one can take complementary actions. A person might use Step 1 to assess personal values, or practice gratitude at Step 2. For instance, someone could use Step 10 to reflect on a difficult conversation at the end of the day. The next morning, they could admit their mistake to a coworker, immediately correcting the issue and continuing their progress. Conclusion: the dynamic journey of becoming. The 12 steps do more than guide a process of self-improvement. They transform how a person approaches life itself. The process mirrors the archetypal hero's journey, where challenges that are faced and overcome lead to greater wisdom and insight. The steps teach one to accept life's uncertainties with courage, and to view setbacks not as failures, but as stepping stones for positive change. The 12 steps provide a universal and adaptable framework for anyone seeking personal growth. The next step is to embrace this process as a continuous journey of becoming.